Welcome to this week's edition of GRTV News, where we bring you the latest and best news in the gaming world. First up is Sony, who have done something of a reshuffle when it comes to their executives. Cassie Rai, the longtime president and group CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, has stepped down, and in place of him, Andrew House, who used to head up the European operations, has taken over. Furthermore, Ken Kutaragi, the father of PlayStation, has stepped down from his position as Honorary Chairman of Sony Computer Entertainment, and he will still have a role as an advisor, but he will no longer serve as Honorary Chairman. So Sony themselves state that these moves have been made in order to sort of signal the change that they're making with PS Vita coming and sort of the last few years of PlayStation 3 before the new console. So these changes are made in anticipation of that. Codemasters have announced a release date for Bodycount, the long-delayed title that was once headed up by Stuart Black of Black fame, but it's now being handled at Codemasters in Guildford. It's a quite different first-person shooter, and it's coming out in North America on August the 30th. And September 2nd in European nations. There's been some controversy regarding Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D, and more specifically about the save files. The game saves your progress permanently onto the game cart, which means that if you buy a used copy of the game, you will have someone else unlocks there, and you can't do anything about it. You can't delete saves. So Capcom themselves claim that this is something they made because of the arcade nature of the game, that you unlock stuff and things like that. But it comes across as some sort of digital rights management and trying to make it difficult for used sales. And some retailers have already said that they will not stock the game as a used game, and others have said they won't carry it at all. So maybe you won't be able to buy Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D in your usual game store for that reason. Twisted Pixel, the makers of such games as Splosion Man and the upcoming Gunstringer, have announced that they are developing for iOS. The move was fueled by the apparent cloning of their Splosion Man game with Maxplosion from Capcom, and that sort of fueled the rage at Twisted Pixel, and now they want to make an iOS game of their own. And they've hinted at that it might have something to do with already existing IPs, and perhaps Splosion Man will make his own debut on iOS in the near future. If you haven't tried World of Warcraft yet, you're in for some good news. Blizzard have announced that they're now doing an endless trial, which means that you can create as many characters as you want, level them up to 20, and continue the trial as long as you want. Of course, there are restrictions to the experience. A lot of them, in fact. There's a whole list. You can check it out on the website. But still, you will be able to try the game as much as you want. There's no 14-day period anymore. And if you're happy with it, you can play as two races, the Blood Elves and the Draenei, both from Burning Crusade. And if you want to upgrade, it will cost you around $20 to upgrade to get the full game and with the Burning Crusade expansion. So perhaps World of Warcraft is looking to get some new players, because they've been losing a few players lately. So trying to turn the tide there with the endless trial. That's it for this week's edition of GRTV News. Check back next week.